All right. Thank you for introducing yourselves in the chat. Welcome everyone to our SNAP partner meeting today. My name is Misha Mears. I'm a community engagement coordinator here. And I do want to remind you before we get too far that we are recording today's meeting. Purpose of recording the meeting is it does help us for note-taking purposes, but also for those folks who might not have been able to make it today, so they too can get the messages. Because we are going into breakout session partway through today's meeting, we actually will only be recording the first half of today's meeting because it's hard to record those breakout sessions. So we'll only catch really the early portion with the updates and the announcements today. So we'll try and take good notes during our recap there. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Stephanie and Jean for SNAP updates and announcements.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Misha. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Cook. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm with the Oregon Department of Human Services as a SNAP policy analyst. So the first update we wanted to share today, which I'm sure everyone is anxiously waiting for, is that ODHS is very closely watching the potential of a federal government shutdown. We have been advised by our federal partners that SNAP benefits will go out just as normal for October. So normal schedule, households can expect to receive their benefits the same day they normally would, no change in the amount they're receiving, and there's nothing that they need to do to receive those benefits. So no changes for October. We have not yet received guidance about benefits for November. And if we happen to go into a federal government shutdown, if it's still continuing into November, what sort of changes or impacts that will have on SNAP benefits for November. But we're watching it really closely, and we'll make sure to, provide that information out as soon as we receive it. So I know that's a big topic, so I do want to pause and see if anyone has any questions or comments or just kind of, general sentiments about this.
I don't see anything in chat so far.
Okay. All right. Well, this topic is open, so feel free if you do have any questions about the shutdown to, reach out to either myself or Heather or Jean, and we'd be happy to share information about that. That's all we have for the SNAP policy in regards to updates we have. I did want to share the floor and not put you on the spot, but Lucy, if you happen to have any information you want to share about the shutdown and how it relates to the programs that you manage.
I do see that Beth raised her hand.
Of course. Hi, Beth.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm slow to click everything.
No, you're fine. We have plenty of time. I was surprised nobody had questions, so I'm glad you have something.
Well, actually, I've been asking a lot of questions, like directly emailing people. So I'm, but and tell me if I'm jumping the gun if you're about somebody's about to talk about this. But I'm wondering if would there be any impact to the expedited SNAP program or the timelines for expedited SNAP if there is the government shutdown? Because that's one thing that we typically advise people, like if they meet the criteria, if they suddenly lose all income because they're furloughed because of a government shutdown and need food, that could be a quick way to get access to benefits that they might not have qualified when they were getting income. Is there any plan for change to the 7-day rule, or even if it's the rule change to like things being processed in 7 days?
That's a great question, Beth. I'll take that one, Stephanie. Is that all right?
It's you I need to thank, Heather. It's you have been bugging by email. I'm so sorry that I've been doing that, but I really appreciate
no, you are.
I just said thank you.
You are fine, and you're asking all the right questions, Beth. I think the main thing that we've been told, for October again, is normal processing times and regulations are what they should be. So expedited SNAP in all of what we have always has that level of urgency that goes beyond other programming. We're trying to keep that within that window of what our federal partners have lined out for us. There's been no change on the federal side around expedite, so we'll keep on approaching it in the same way that we have, honestly, in terms of making sure that people that don't have access to those wages, to get to that point that you're really making there, which also probably includes some of our federal partners as well, that are furloughed. If we get into that place of actual partial government shutdown, we'll be getting more information, I think, out on some of those elements to it. We are still waiting for our federal partners to kind of give us some guidance on that. But the expedite piece of it should be handled as normal for October.
Do you think do you expect a surge in expedited applications? I can't remember when the last shutdown was it? Well, anyway, whenever last one, do you get a surge? And if so, do you have a plan for staffing the expedited application?
You have, sometimes you'll have a little surge. I mean, I don't think Oregon is going to see quite as much as other states do, frankly. I think there's other states in our nation that have federal hubs that are more impactful to where they are. I think Washington to the north has that a little bit more because that's where some of the local federal headquarters are. California is the same. They have some of the SNAP federal headquarters there in terms of the western states. But so we see a little bit, but not to the same degree that other states do. And in past shutdowns, when we've gone to something like this, we really have, again, we've had enough staff to be able to manage the flow of the expedite because we elevate it within the system in that way, and that responsiveness in terms of how somebody qualifies for those programs gets flagged so that we can prioritize it within our system to actually get to those applications first. So I'm hoping, all of those things, should mitigate what we need in terms of that, but we definitely keep our eye on the data all of the time and the volume of calls or requests coming in. So typically if we're seeing the surge you're talking about in Oregon, that's when we have the benefit of a shared statewide kind of processing ability, and we can move some of that work around internally.
Okay, that's really helpful. And my second question, is there someone else with a hand up? I don't want to be going out of turn. Misha, just interrupt me if there is. I wanted to know if Oregon, if I might have missed this, I checked yesterday, but not today. Are you gonna put something on the website, just allaying people's fears and get some messaging out in other languages other than English, and maybe include, I don't want to make things complicated, but if there typically are more people who get I don't know that everybody knows that expedited food stamps or SNAP is a thing. So having some pointer or maybe a button on the website to let people know what it is, and they can maybe evaluate whether they would qualify would probably be really helpful.
I'm looking to see if Vanessa's on, just to answer some more of the communication strategy side of things. Vanessa?
Hi, yes, I'm on. Yes, we have a whole work group working on communications around the federal government shutdown. And we are finalizing some social media posts and website language right now. And we'll get those translated into multiple languages for folks. I think we also have got a flyer that's in the works. So that'll be translated as well.
I hope we don't need it, but thank you guys for doing all the work that you're doing to wrap around this issue.
And I think, Angelita, did you have your hand up before?
Yeah, I was going to ask if we had any indication at all, whether for how long it would last, but it sounds like we don't at all, just for planning. And also, I know that you guys are sending out some toolkits and stuff for advocates. Is pushing this out through media a really important thing at this time? Is that the kind of support that you guys would be looking for? That's something our communications person asked for as well. And yeah, I definitely have questions along Beth's line as well, as far as translation. If we can get translated materials out to folks, that would be great.
I think there was a comms piece in there as well, Vanessa. I'm just pausing briefly.
You know what, that is something I'm not sure about. So I'll actually bring that to our work group to see. I know we're planning on a press release from ODHS, but in terms of like support from partners on press and media connections, let me go ahead and loop back.
Thank you. I think, you know, from the past, Angelita, I mean, this is all, I mean, it literally is an act of Congress. So, you know, we don't quite know how long this is going to take. The last time, though, if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 34 days, I think, was where they actually closed. So it did tip into a different period of time, which caused some delays. I think the main thing is going to be a level of reassurance for community and us having similar talking points and understandings and messaging that we're all being able to amplify. And the more that we can do to help people understand what's available to them, from where, things like Beth was talking about in terms of expedite criteria for our services and where they can apply for those benefits, that's going to be a really important part to some of this work. I think the other part of it also, like I say, is just us keeping our eyes on what's happening in terms of movement for Congress in terms of passing any of these things. In the very brief and few meetings we've been on with our federal partners, they're still hopeful that some resolution will be made, but I think there's a level of realism in that too, the closer we get to this deadline. They anticipate what will happen for them is that they will fall back to really like a skeleton crew of people that are still contactable at the federal level, but, you know, for us, for if there are any emergency needs on the federal side, but many of their staff will be furloughed as well. We'll still have some points of contact at our regional office and our national office for SNAP, and they will keep us appraised of any movement that they see from their side as well. You know, so as soon as we know anything, as soon as we get that level of clarity around the next steps, we will make sure that we are using our community partner network to let you know as much as we do and what folks can do themselves to have the food that they need. And I know, Lucy, there was a couple, we were on a couple of calls with some of our other food programs. I don't know if you would have a chance to just give a little update as well for anyone on the call that's interested.
Hi, yeah. So for the emergency food assistance program and the commodity supplemental food program, those are two commodity food programs operated through the USDA. We don't expect to see too much of an impact as far as ordering food. We have our orders in for this calendar year already. Food ordering happens on a calendar year, and we already have our entitlement money available for that. And then it doesn't impact our ability to close out the fiscal year we're in. So we're still able to get funds out through December for that year. And we've been working with, we've requested information from our partners from FNS. They are hoping to give us program specific information today or tomorrow, but they're not expecting it to impact the food systems and like ordering functions and things like that to get food into food banks. I think, just like anything else, we'll be monitoring it to see if this goes on longer, because the longer it goes on, the more of a potential impact there will be. Yeah. But I think, we're okay with those programs for now.
Thank you, Lucy. And I know we've had updates also from our WIC partners to say that WIC benefits will not be affected through this potential partial federal government shutdown, that those benefits won't get affected in the immediacy of anything. But we also have the same reassurance from our child nutrition partners as well, that there should not be any disruption from their school meals and food ordering side, at least in the immediate moments of what this shutdown could bring. So I'm hopeful again that the resources that families have currently on their cards, the ones that will be loaded in their regular staggered issuance in October, and any of those benefits that they may already have for things like the pandemic EBT program that is still accessible and usable for them. One of the big messages we always encourage you to share is even if we head into partial federal government shutdown, it doesn't mean that any of the benefits that are already on their cards get taken away through that shutdown process. They're still able to use the balance that remains on their cards and still able to purchase what they need to with what remains on their cards. So that's always something that kind of comes up situationally. So it's always good to message that out to reassure families.
Annie?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for that, Heather. I just wanted to say thank you for whoever on the ODHS team this morning sent out an email to partners. It was really helpful just to have that messaging that reaffirmed that SNAP benefits are fine in October, and really appreciated that it included WIC in there, even though I know that's not necessarily y'all's job, but I think especially the media has been talking a lot about WIC and politicians have been talking about WIC, you know, for good reason, but that's made people worried. And so that was really helpful to have that be combined. And I think just building on what you said, if those other communication strategies can also point to, I think pandemic EBT is a great point. Like we just got ours, right? So people are getting that. So reaffirming like, yes, you don't have to scramble to use that right away if you don't need to. And school meals. Yeah. So just again, as much like coordinating as the state agencies can do to include all those pieces would be great. And I know it's a fine balance too, to be like, don't worry about October, but also this is a bad thing that's potentially happening and it could impact people in the future, right? That's tricky. But anyway, that was a long way to say thanks.
No, I think you did a fabulous job, Annie, of just summing it up, honestly. I mean, it is that point of we want to reassure our families and individuals that we're working with, but also that there is that awareness building that this is, you know, at least for SNAP, that this is only for October. And we will keep you completely looped in as how things progress in terms of any November benefit elements that may change.
Anybody else have any thoughts or questions they'd like to share? Okay. Do we have any other updates from the team that we'd like to share?
I think there's one thing to possibly mention that we've probably never thought about before, and I am not the expert. I'm going to put a massive caveat there. I am not the expert on this piece, but we do have something in place now that wasn't there last time we had any federal government shutdown, and that is paid leave Oregon for those who would qualify. And I think that that's also something that can be mentioned to folks if they're able to qualify for that. That may help with some of that gap that could be occurring for them. So I encourage you to take a look at the website and maybe different ways that message can also go out to people that could be affected and that may qualify for paid leave Oregon.
And nothing else, Misha, from the SNAP side.
All right. Well, a couple of months ago, we had planned to go into a breakout session, and then we ended up running out of time for that. So we wanted to be sure to make time for that, for a breakout session, and we're going to do that today with all that's happening around ABOD. Currently, the SNAP team thought that it would be great to get in groups and to brainstorm and strategize a bit around ABOD. And so we are going to do that. Would somebody from the SNAP team like to maybe review that that PDF that you created, or do any kind of a summary before we go into breakout sessions?